Hello, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for coming to a presentation this early in the morning. I know waking up before 10 a.m. is really hard on a week like this, so again, really appreciate you all being here today. So I actually spoke on this stage last year, and it feels really good to be back again this year. I would love to talk about DeFi derivatives and all the trends that are happening right now and what is coming next. Some quick updates on what's happened this year. For us as Cega, and both for me personally, 2024 was a big year. We actually hit 500 million, so over $500 million in volume on Cega. Obviously, everyone here knows that we've got the ETF approved, which is a huge win for this industry. And lastly, on my personal life, I had a baby. Thank you. And all of this has made 2024 one of the most exciting years for Cega. Last year, in this conference, we covered the value of DeFi options. So we talked about how DeFi options are amazing because they have flexible payouts. You can choose custom metrics, you can have packaging tokens, you can do a lot of risk adjustments. We also talked about how DeFi options could increase liquidity in this entire market because if you trade one DeFi exotic option, you're actually using vanilla options, perpetuals, and spot to hedge that position. So it creates this flywheel of liquidity in the market. And lastly, we talked about the value of having a permissionless architecture and a smart contract that abstracts the middle office and the back office operations of a derivatives operation. And so having the user interact with the smart contract creates this settlement and position checking lifecycle with trust. So at Cega, we're super proud of what we have accomplished as market leaders. So we want to talk about DeFi derivatives innovation. Cega has really created this innovation over the last 3 years. We're one of the older DeFi protocols now, and we've done over $500 million in trading volume. And in our most recent launch of SharkFin's, which is a 100% principal-protected strategy, we've gotten $2 million in TVL. So to those of you that want to try out any form of DeFi derivatives, you should access Cega and see what DeFi derivatives is all about. We have structured investment strategies that uses the newest technology in DeFi to allow for a risk-adjusted sustainable return on your crypto assets. So what is actually next in DeFi? What is Cega working on? What is the entire industry looking at? One of the most interesting things that I think has happened this year and that everyone is talking about right now are these two topics. The first one is trusted execution environment. This concept is basically coming from the years of internet evolution and hardware evolution, but trusted execution environments basically allow for any user to access the technology and they're able to trust the entire process completely and know that it's going to be not touchable by any third parties or any form of attacks. And so we're going to create Cega contracts that allows for any trades to happen in the market, any form of customization that a user wants, and intermediaries, including Cega, cannot touch this contract. So we will be able to have institutional users, family offices, high net worth individuals, or even retail individuals access Cega, choose a trade they want, put in the premium, and then send the link to another person where they could accept the trade or reject the trade. And it will create this automated settlement operation flow that will allow you to have a completely autonomous trade. And the second DeFi trend that we're really excited about is something called intent-based staking. So for those of you who have heard of intents, I know you're really excited about it. because for the first time, the user experience is going to be abstracted. You're going to be able to access a DeFi protocol, and instead of having to read really, really complex smart contracts or read 50 pages of documents, you're able to indicate the result that you want, and the protocol will automatically allocate your assets to the risk appetite and the results you want. So something super interesting that's going to happen in DeFi is you're going to be able to go to a DeFi protocol. You're going to indicate the results you want, what kind of assets you want to stake, what kind of returns you want to make, and then the DeFi protocol will automatically create a portfolio for you that no human is able to touch. And it's going to automatically execute the strategies, and you're going to get the return that you want. It's super, super cool. And so this intent-based staking is going to be a new technology that's also going to come out in the coming years. And not only that, I want to talk a little more about what Cega has already launched. Last month, actually this month, we're launching the Vault token market. So in the past, when you go on Cega and you stake into our strategies, every one of our strategies is 1 month long. So the strategy was actually locking up your assets for 27 days. But now, you're going to not have that lockup anymore. You can stake on Cega, and when you have the position token in your wallet, that position token will have a marketplace on Cega.fi where you can trade that token, buy and sell, and get instant liquidity. We're also in chats with lending and borrowing protocols and other form of restaking protocols to be able to use your Vault token as a collateral for borrowing funds. Or you could also restake the Cega Vault tokens to make an additional yield. So super excited about this launch. And then another feature that we have launched last month is called DCS rotation. For those of you familiar with DCS, it stands for dual currency swaps. You can stake your USDC, make a baseline yield, and wait until the market drops 25% to buy Ethereum. Now, when that converts, in the past, you had to withdraw the Ethereum from the platform. But now you can actually set it so that it restakes into an Ethereum strategy that converts into USDC if Ethereum goes up. So what that means is you can set a strategy to continuously buy low and sell high with your USDC and Ethereum. But what's really cool is that you make a baseline yield of 5 to 6%. And depending on where you set your strikes, it could also go up to 20 or 30%. So this customization is one of our first steps into building our escrow system as well as our intent-based staking. These are some new features that we've already launched, but now I'm super happy to announce all the new features we're launching in the Q4 and Q1 of this year. So in Q4, we're actually going to be launching feature parity on Solana. For those of you that know the history of Cega, we've actually started on Solana. I wrote the white paper for Cega in the breakpoint of 2021. And so it's really exciting to be able to come back to the Solana community and build our Solana experience to be the best experience for DeFi options out there. We're also excited to work with Base as we're a Coinbase Ventures portfolio company. And we're excited to allow for SPL and BRC token staking. The second feature we're going to be launching is a part of the trusted execution environment that I mentioned earlier. We're going to be launching Cega Escrow, which is a feature where you can set your own trades instead of having Cega choose the strategy for you. And of course, you can still have Cega choose the strategy for you, but we allow for a greater level of customization where you can set the strategy, send the link to either a market maker or a counterparty, and it manages the entire lifecycle management of settlement and observations for you. And lastly, we're going to be launching Cega Intents. The intent-based staking feature will allow you to go on Cega and you can choose just the APY you want and the risk appetite you have, and it will automatically allocate you in Cega and other DeFi strategies based on the outcome that you want. So you no longer have to go through 50 pages of documents, worry about the validity of some strategies. We, as a DeFi protocol that has existed for 2.5 years with no hacks, no problem, and that have really stably managed our user funds, we will help create the most optimal strategy for you. In the end, I want to talk a little bit more about my vision. I launched Cega with the vision of creating a new capital market in DeFi. It's really natural that right now the market is really divided into two parts. You're either taking a huge amount of risk by leverage trading on perpetual protocols or buying and selling meme coin, or on the other end, you're super conservative and you're invested in only restaking protocols or liquid staking protocols where you're getting a 3 to 4% yield below US money market rates. What I think is really important is to create a product that serves the middle market between these degens and super conservative users. And Cega, by creating the programmable derivatives strategy and technology, we're making these middle yields accessible to everyone in this industry. We'll help you adjust your risk and we'll help you make a good yield. And now, with all the new features we have launched and will be launching, you can do things like making exactly 20% APY on your Ethereum with minimal risk. You can create a bullish product when markets are up and a bearish product when the markets are down. You can choose exactly the counterparty that you want to trade with, like Arbelos. You can diversify your bets across Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana automatically. And these are all the kind of use cases that we're creating for every DeFi investor out there. We do think that Cega is leading the DeFi derivatives innovation, and we're super excited to work with everyone. If you are interested in learning more about Cega, I'll be around this conference venue and would love to chat more about the product. But if you want to learn more about us online, you can access cega.fi or twitter.com@Cega_fi. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation today.